Hello, everyone.
Hi!
I'm so excited. Hello,
I
everyone.
know.
Hi. Welcome
Hi,
in,
all.
everyone, to the fourth annual
Welcome.
It Gets Better Digital Pride Experience. Hey, Jay.
I
How are
am.
you?
I'm good. Do you want to give a little tidbit about yourself
Oh, a
before
little, a
we
little bit
get
about
into it?
me.
Oh,
Little
about
me. Are you
you?
sure? Okay, I will.
Yes,
I
I
will. Hi,
insist.
everyone. My name is Etienne Watson. I'm a queer variety streamer who plays most like cutesy games. If they're not cutesy, I simply make them cutesy. It's true. I stream on Twitch every Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's a little bit about me. What about you?
Well, hi there, everyone. I'm Jay. In addition to being the graphic designer for the It Gets Better project, I am a self-proclaimed multi-hyphenate creative. I'm all over the artsy sphere, but I mostly dwell in the worlds of voiceover and cosplay.
I
So I'm
love that.
super excited to delve into everything today. I'm excited to talk to our guests. Like, this is just gonna be awesome.
Because we've been in a call a little bit beforehand, and y'all, I'm
Mhm.
already, the energy is energizing. I am so excited. Like, everyone in this roundtable is so sweet, so lovely. I even got a thumbs up in the backstage from someone. So I already know it's good people. I feel comfortable, I feel safe, and I'm just so excited. I should probably tell everyone what the Digital Pride Experience is really quick for everyone, just in case if you're new here. It's a series of Pride streams on Twitch and TikTok for LGBTQ plus youth who may not be able to celebrate in person, or if you can, let's just keep partying. Come on now. And if this is your first time joining us, welcome on in.
Today is our actors and performers stream, where we'll be joined by LGBTQ plus voice actors chatting about gaming, the progress that's been made in LGBTQ plus representation, and where we still need to go with that. And
Yeah,
then
there's still somewhere.
later, we got singer-songwriter mxmtoon joining us. So that's gonna be super cool. This will
Um,
be the second appearance by mxmtoon on this channel. So we're looking forward to chatting with her.
you know what? I'm
Getting
I'm I'm very sad that I missed the first one because I've been listening to mxmtoon all morning. Just to,
oh, yeah.
you need to be inspired by the music, and I'm like obsessed. Mona Lisa is my jam. So I really am so excited to like talk to her and like hear about her experience as a queer musician, because talking to creatives, especially queer creatives, because it's something you have to navigate in another way that like not people who aren't queer don't have to think about. So I'm really excited to hear about how all these wonderful, creative, kind people, like everyone's so nice. I'm so excited how they navigate their industries. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it is. Are you looking forward to anything happening this Pride? Any plans? Any
Hmm.
celebrations?
You know what? Me, I celebrate Pride every single day. You
Mhm,
hear
that's
me?
what's
No.
up. It's true,
No, it
though!
is. It is
Pride
true. And
365, let's
It
go.
and you gotta, like, literally, like, this is, like I've said this to, so many people, but I do a lot of things for little Ian, and little Ian is so stoked to just be doing this, like, to be on here, to interview other queer people, like, this is a celebration to me, and, like, it's really exciting too because I feel like like a lot of times as people, we're not allowed to like talk about our accomplishments or whatever, but like we are here to talk about what we're doing, all of our successes. And so it's just been really nice to, I don't know, kind of be like, hey, yeah, this is this cool thing I'm doing. And I'm not going to feel ashamed about it because I'm afraid someone's going to think I'm like bragging or anything. So I've just been
Mhm.
I've been making money moves and
Hey.
have been just, I've been living it up and like going to see other queer people in person during this month has been just so nice. How about you? What are you looking forward to this Pride? What have you been up to?
You know, this is my first year working for It Gets Better. So, I think that it's weird enough walking into a store and then seeing your company's logo, like, on every other storefront window and
No,
being
that's
like, "Hey,
so cool.
that's me." It's like SpongeBob pointing in the corner being like, "I'm right there," even though I have nothing to do with it. It's still exciting.
No, that is so cool.
Yeah, I went to my first Pride back in 2019, right before everything shut down. So this has been like the first year returning and getting into it. So it's been super fun. I got to go to DC Pride, hang out with some coworkers, meet some new people, watch some performances, all that fun stuff. So it's been a good month.
I love that so much because like I sometimes you don't think about it. Like a lot of people had some people had their first like Pride experience during like the pandemic and stuff. So the fact that you like had your first Pride experience 2019 and then you're like,
And then I went
ooh.
pew, and then we shut down. But we're back in business.
Yes, we
We're ready to
are. And like,
go.
what a celebration of that. That is so exciting. And I'm so
Yeah.
glad that you like went and you had a good time and everything. That is so, so cool.
Yeah. Do you have any fun memories from previous prides that you've been to?
Wow, the memory isn't the way it used to be. I'm gonna be
Oh, no.
honest with you, Jay. Gonna be
Oh.
honest with you. No, honestly, like most of my memories is just it's always connections with people. Like I always say I could do anything. It's all about who you're with. And so I think about all of the wonderful people, like people come into your life for a reason, season, or a lifetime. And like everyone has made such a strong impact in my life during like meeting other queer people, especially when I came out and like seeing that. I know I sometimes I'm like, I know it might sound cheesy, but it really does get better. It's really nice. And it's really cool that I am like being out and being championed for being myself is like so powerful.
It's
Like
the best feeling.
it really is. Like why I love Twitch so much is because like you go on and you're being yourself and people are like, I like you. And you're like, I wish I did this earlier. Why didn't I do this earlier?
You have to find that
Hmm.
confidence and that excitement and the joy behind what you do, and you found it, and now you're here.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. What about you? Any wonderful Pride experiences, memories?
Honestly, I think just going out and flying out to DC for the first time was an experience in itself. Uh, just seeing all the performances, I think that it was Monet Exchange, Haley Kyogo,
Oh,
and Rina Sawayama all on the main stage. So just
love that.
standing there and being able to be in the energy and the space with the vibes, it was everything for
Uh,
sure.
I've listened recently discovered Haley Kiyoko. Am I saying that right? I
Mhm.
apologize if I butchered that.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm was like, oh, this the girls what the girl song. I was obsessed. I've been
Mhm.
bumping that. I literally listened to that yesterday. Thank you, Drag Race, for lip sync songs that I get to learn new artists. That's very nice. Thanks, Drag Race. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I just started watching Drag Race recently, so he's like getting to interact with the audience, being excited to see Monet Exchange. It was just like, this is
Oh,
everything.
so
I am
fun
living
though.
in the moment.
Oh, that's so, so, so exciting, though. I didn't realize that
Yeah.
you're also like a new Drag Race watcher. Like all those sorts of
Mhm,
things. Like I always think like, yeah, you're gonna have so much fun with this like new series. Like yesterday, I watched, or not yesterday, 2 days ago, I watched the whole series for the first time of Heartstopper, and like so many people are like, Why haven't you watched it?
mhm.
Oh, I've watched it now. I've realized my mistakes. I've realized I'm so excited for season 2. But that's like another thing that I did to celebrate Pride was like, I need to consume more queer media because I'm on
Mhm.
Twitch so much. I watch so many queer streamers, but I miss watching just like other types of queer media. So yeah.
Especially
Mhm.
queer media being made by other smaller and indie creatives, because it's like if we can't get the representation that we want in mainstream media, you gotta seek it out yourself. Find the people who are actually representing these communities, get in on that, and it's a lot more fun that way, honestly.
I agree. I 100%, and I just see in the chat that okay, but Haley did it gets better video for us. I will be
Mhm.
pinning that later. Yes, I am so into that. Very excited about that. But yeah, that's been my pride this so far, making the money moves. I streamed for the first time on Steam, which is always like hard to say. Streamed on Steam. There we go. And like just like anything that puts like queer people to the forefront, I'm like, I'll do it too. And I'm just so excited to interview like a bunch of like wonderful like voice actors who put themselves out there and that's like I think that's a scary thing to do as an artist, to put yourself out there and be proud. So yeah,
For
I think
sure.
I don't know, Jay, if there's anything else. I think we might be ready
I
to
think
bring out some
so.
wonderful, talented voice actors. Voice actors, are we
Bring
ready? I
them
think they are.
in.
They better be. I don't know if they're not. I don't know. There they are. Hi,
Hey.
Hello.
everyone.
Hi.
Hey.
Yay. We're so happy to have you. And we're going to go through everyone. And I want you all, listen, we are celebrating the queer joy, the queer moments. So please do not, you tell about all the wonderful experiences. No shame here. We're going to be doing it. Thank you. But like, I'm just going to go in order of what the order I was given. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with that. And let's go day to Dave. If you would like to introduce yourself, pronouns, what you've been working on.
Hello. All right. Well, I'm Day to Dave. Catchphrase Day 2 Day with Day to Dave. Also, one of the It Gets Better ambassadors. So some of y'all may have seen me around. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a gay creator. And what I've been working on, well, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but Denny's, that booking was recorded last week. I had to wait to see if they put it on air. So it's on air as of yesterday. So that was really, really cool and big. And just some cool projects here and there. And fun fact about me, I'm also the first voice director, voice caster, all that for Waking on the Game Studio. So we've been working on that game, and it's the game's coming out much cooler, but it's cool seeing things being made from the ground up. So I'm doing all voiceover, everything for that.
Congratulations. That is so exciting. And I did see I saw the Denny's commercial and I was like, you better work, Dave. You better work it
Get
out.
that grand slam.
Booked and
I'm
busy.
going right now. I was convinced. I was convinced when you're good at what you do. I'm just saying. Next we have the wonderful That Sea Monster.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm that sea monster, and I'm a voice actor, and my pronouns are he, him. I accidentally transitioned into Sans from Undertale, so I've got kind of a silly laugh now. Oh,
I'm
it's
obsessed with that.
it turns out the Valley Girl accent like didn't quite translate. um, but yeah, so I've been voice acting for a minute. I just moved, so that's kind of what's going on in my life right now. Moved from Texas to Seattle, so it's been kind of a big change, but it's been really nice and really refreshing.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm impressed that you're like, and now we're also doing this right after moving. I would be like, I can't do this. I can't do this. Well, I'm
That
so
was
excited
me
to hear
wandering
about
around the
everything.
basement earlier amidst all of the boxes.
Brilliant. I'm honestly, and is there anything that you've been working on recently?
Oh yes, that's right. Creative projects, those
Yeah,
exist.
if you want, you don't have to. You don't have to.
No, I've been working on a webtoon with my partner. It's called No Such Thing. And I'm currently working on getting we're rebooting it. So I'm publishing the first version of it, and then the um the rebooted version is currently over on Webtoon if you want to go check it out.
Oh, I will be asking for that link after this. Thank you. Thank you. I love that. And we will have everyone's socials, and you will be able to look at everyone and check everyone out. So please go support these amazing artists as well. But we also need to meet Joshua David King.
Hi, everyone. I'm Joshua David King. I'm an actor, creator, musician. I wear a lot of hats. Like Jay, I am a self-proclaimed multi-hyphenate. So I've always have a lot going on. I've been voice acting since I was 12. I watched an anime dub and I was never the same. The voices went into my brain and I said, I have to do that. And so here I am doing it. I'm also a writer. As I said, I write for a GL Girls Love webtoon called Shining Star. We're actually going to be published very soon, so look out for that. And also, I also have a light novel entitled Project Super Crush, which we are also working on. We just entered promo for it. It's going very well. And yeah, as far as voiceover credits, you've heard me in games like Fire Emblem Heroes, Cookie Run Kingdom, Genshin Impact. There's a couple more that I'm working on right now, but I stay in video games. I keep a check in video games, so I'm very happy for that. And yeah, that's pretty much the 411 on me.
I love that my nerdy butt got chills as soon as you said Genshin Impact. I was like, oh wait, who do you voice in that? Who is it?
Just a couple NPCs, just a couple NPCs in Genshin. Nothing too big, but definitely a fun time.
That's huge. I don't care what you say. That is so big. That is so cool. And honestly, I love that. Like the GL, I'm not as familiar because I love the boy love stuff, but I need to know more as well. And I think that is so exciting.
100%. I think it's a great thing. And for me, being AMAB and being only knowing one experience, I think it's really great that to be able to work with lesbian creators and be trusted in that space to bring that story to life. So it's a great time. I can't wait for it. And I hope that everyone looks forward to it because it's going to be really good. But yeah. I'm
so excited for you. Like I'm nerding out already. This is so exciting. Like, everyone's really cool. Everyone's really
You're
cool.
so cool though.
No, stop. Thanks. Stop. No, you can keep going. It's okay. No, I'm kidding. But speaking of cool, we have the great, the wonderful Bailey Wolf.
Hi. How you doing? What's up?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Got some gains, went to the gym, I am suffering for it. It's a good time. But yeah, hi, I'm Bailey Wolf. I'm based in Minneapolis. My pronouns are she, her. Recent work. Lately, I've been doing a lot of podcast stuff. Been in The Hotel, The New Crew as the auditor. I got to do a Stephen King tie-in podcast. That was pretty cool. In terms of like famous video games or vaguely famous video games you might have heard of, MechWarrior Online or MechWarrior 5 too.
Oh yes.
I'm all the robots. Every last one.
Save a robot for someone.
Right.
No, they're all mine.
I'm kidding.
I am the robots.
Instead of iRobot, it's iRobots. I like that.
iRobots.
That is so exciting. And like, how is it like, so with your the hotel is so it's a podcast style. Is it like in the realm of like what is the word I'm looking for? Like a radio play? Is it in that kind of realm?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's audio drama, I guess vignettes per episode. They are connected, but not necessarily. I mean, each episode is standalone for the most part, unless it's like end of the year special, and it's like, everyone will die, but how?
Oh, my favorite. That is so exciting though. I'm so thankful that you all are joining us today. And really, I'm so thankful for like how fun and like the energy, as I said before, as soon as I entered the call and everyone was coming in, I was like, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. I'm so excited. And yeah, we have some questions for you. We do.
Yeah, we have a couple little things to Q&A you with. So the first question would be, what made, and anyone can pop in at any time, not obligated to answer every question, only if you feel like you have a nugget of wisdom. But what made y'all want to get into voiceover?
Who want to take it first? All right, so I'm gonna hop in. So
love that.
I was
Please,
like,
thank you.
Go ahead,
toss
you
it up.
got it.
I
You
was
got
like,
it.
I
Jump
didn't
right
want to.
in
I didn't want to
things.
hop the gun. All
Yeah,
right.
go ahead.
But
Jump
what
in.
made me get into voice acting? Honestly, it was seeing other voice actors. So I know a lot of voice actors go from VA to content creation. I actually did the flip side, where I did content creation about 3-4 years, and I'm like, okay, what else could I do? What's cool? And I saw that a lot of content creators were in voiceover. So me, at first, I'm like, that's kind of cool, but I don't know a single thing about acting. So let me take some classes. So I just kept taking classes and classes and classes. And after a while, I was like, wait, I'm starting to really like this. And then it went from, hey, I'm taking one class to how can I learn? Should I listen to podcasts, read books? What are the different acting techniques? So I just kind of nerded out and just took as many workshops, teachers to say, hey, what can you teach me? Because I'm enjoying this and I want to learn. And so it just kept going to now I'm still here 4 or 5 years later. So it just started from this looks cool to, oh, I love this to, I'm going to keep doing this as much as I can.
I
That
love
is
that. I love that you
awesome.
started with classes too, and you're like, oh, I'm
Yes.
just gonna test out classes and go from there. Because I think a lot of times people like have the idea of like I want to do that, but they don't kind of like go through the process of learning the craft of it as well.
Yeah.
So I am
Well,
so, and you're like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna take more classes, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna get into this. Like I'm so impressed.
the
I'm so
education is
impressed.
everything for
It is.
sure.
It is.
Crucial.
It is. Well, I spoke on this a little bit earlier, but I was a 12-year-old alone and with a Netflix subscription that my parents had. And at the time, they had this anime called Soul Eater on there. And the dub of that is I believe, one of the greatest dubs of all time. And Brittany Karbowski plays Black Star, and her voice for this character is just amazing. She's like, Yahoo! I'm Black Star. And I just, just as a child, I just imitated that over and over again. And slowly but surely, I came up with other voices. And then I went through puberty and I had to start from round one again. But it's just been something that's never left. And it's just, I've always wanted, I've always been, I thought it was so cool to be able to voice someone that can look so different from you, that can be from a different walk of life than you, that can be a creature. And I've just always been in love with the process and kind of how Dave was saying, just like the technique and like knowing about like what goes into it and like the behind the scenes. So it's just kind of curiosity that never left. And that's why I'm still here today.
Yeah, that's something that's super special about voiceover is the fact that you're not limited by your appearance. You can voice
100%.
whoever you want. You can be like a little squirrel one day and then a big buff person in a mecha the next.
100%, 100%,
Yeah.
100%. And that's I think one of the most and I think we'll get into this later, I'm sure, but I feel like that's what's so important when we're talking about actors from different identities and different walks of life, of just reminding ourselves that at the end of the day, this is voiceover, and that, it's our voice that's the most predominant and important thing about what we're doing. And so we should be judged by that and not by the walk of life that we come from. But that's my little spiel.
Well, I love also like the loving of the dub, because I feel like there is a lot of like sub versus dub talk. But I think when you are a creative, it is so fun to listen to someone take a role and try to make that work in like a different
100%.
language. And it's like another little challenge. You're like, they're so good at it. They're so good at it.
Right. Yeah, I was never the same. So here we are.
Oh, I love it. I'm obsessed with that.
Well, for me, I got into it through doing stand-up comedy. So I always loved doing stand-up, doing like improv and theater and stuff when I was younger, and I got really into doing stand-up when I was in college. So I would go to the Comedy Store in LA and try and get on just about any showcase that I could. And in order to, I do a lot of storytelling, so I incorporated doing a lot of voices for the stories that I told. So everybody kind of had every person in the story, even if it was real or made up, it became, that kind of their own character. And it just sort of spiraled out from there. I started reading audiobooks. I started doing work for free to practice cold readings. I started doing something called like Webtoons Wednesday and Comic Books Tuesday, where we would do cold readings of comics and assign character voices and emoting on the spot. And it was really, really fun. I plan on starting it up again, so anybody who would like to join is totally welcome to.
Yes.
It's a really
Get in
great way to
there.
practice. And Dave and I did it together for like 2 years.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, I
so
love
no, that's
that.
It's
amazing.
it was ridiculously fun. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
miss doing it. So I'm gonna be starting it up soon as I build my desk.
Yes.
I
I used
can't
to
wait.
open. I used to just open manga and the bookstore and just assign voices like that. It's such a good way for practice.
Yes.
It's such a good way to just jump in and like you're saying cold reading and just how do I emote this scene? Like what are they trying to portray here? So that's great. That's actually a great tip for practice for anyone listening.
Yes.
It is really good practice. Also, having no sense of shame is also really good for practice.
Yes. You have to
Yeah.
get silly with voiceover. You have to be silly. You have to be.
You are cringe and you are free.
You have to.
Yes.
Be free, cringe and free.
But now I'm actually in the process of retraining my voice because I don't know if you could hear, but my voice dropped a lot in the last couple of months.
Sound great.
Well, thank you. I've been doing this thing I've been calling the Disney princess test because I used to have like this little Snow White kind of voice that I could do, and I would sing in it. So now I test my range by doing the test and trying to sing. My voice just cracks immediately. It's like
it's a new era. It's a new era.
Indeed.
But like, is that
new
a fun
demo
new challenge? You're like excited to be like, you know what? I'm gonna have to do all of this, learn what I can do with it. I don't know. I find like exciting.
I wound up practicing my range a lot when my vocal cords were estrogen based, and and because I always wanted to play the men's roles, but I could only make it down to Luffy from One Piece. That was about as far down as I could go. So, but now I'm all excited because like the whole range of male voices is available to me now.
Oh yes, how
The
exciting!
euphoria.
It really is though.
The only unfortunate thing is that I have unlocked a very good Stewie Griffin impression.
Oh my gosh! Well, now we have to hear it.
Thank you so much for coming. This
is very
wonderful though.
Hello, Brian.
Yep.
Nice.
That was great.
Lois. Mum. Fortunately, though, Cartman is still there. So, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh,
This
no.
is
Now it sounds a little bit
everything.
like the filter from TikTok.
It can be a sound.
It could be.
Trying to make it a trend.
You were always thinking.
Anyway.
No, that was amazing. Thank you for that.
No,
Wonderful.
sorry, I distracted the class with my impressions.
We were just dazed. We were stunned.
I was
by how good
like,
it was.
what were we talking about?
Pikachu, I choose you.
Oh, that A. That E.
Okay.
That made me very happy.
Brain's
Thank
still
you.
there.
Yeah.
The nostalgia.
Yeah. But what
Yeah,
about for
right.
you, Bailey?
Yeah, we're talking about cringe, right? You want some
Yeah,
cringe?
yeah.
Yeah,
If
I
you-
thought
why
Majel
not?
Roddenberry's voice was hot when I was like 6. I was like, I want to do that. I want to be the computer voices. And now I am the computer voices. It's great. But then, I don't know, got some training because that's apparently the thing to do. And now
Yes.
it's like
Mhm.
the last thing I got shortlisted for was an 11-year-old girl.
That's so
I
cool.
was like, all right.
Yeah.
This is,
The
and I think this is
range.
another thing I love about being a voice actor is like, and Jay said this earlier, is like, I had an article where I said that exact same thing because sometimes I'll play children and then sometimes I'll play grown adults. And it's like, it's so funny, like just seeing people's like reactions when you like do a voice that's all the way up here and then you drop your voice down here. It's like much different things, but it's like, it's so fun to get like gauge those reactions and just be like, yeah, it's cool. It's something that you can play around with. So I love that. Because your voice is so good at this current place, like Bailey, like to go even higher and be like a little girl voice. I love that. I love that. I love that.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Well, I mean, if you really want me to do it, I could. I could stay
What?
up here if you
This
want.
is all I
mean,
want.
I can go higher, but I'm not.
Kind of, because that seems unsafe.
That was so
Understandable.
fun.
That was
love
not
that.
the warm up.
I now want to watch you all play story-based games on the Twitch.
I mean, I
It
did.
Maybe
It
Like
needs
I was
to
on
Maybe
Twitch
it's-
for 10 years.
Maybe It Gets Better should do a D&D or a role-playing game night, and we
Yeah.
can all
That would
be
be
on it
fun.
for a good
Mhm.
cause.
That would be so
Mhm.
awesome.
You hear
Yes.
that
For
gets
sure.
better? Ideas. We're
Mhm.
getting ideas.
Just
Oh,
an
Someone write that down.
ideating
Write that down.
session.
Write that down.
absolutely.
The little binoculars, get it?
Catch it.
Please, I love that.
Social media manager, like, wait,
I did have a very specific question, and I don't know exactly how I wanted to phrase it, but I feel growing up queer, I was so aware of my voice. And it took me a long time as an actor and as any sort of person in front of the camera to learn to love my voice. How is that journey for all of you when it comes to being in the professional and then having to hear yourself all the time? How is that journey for any of you?
Yeah.
Ah.
See, like, people are like, "Oh, wow, you sound cool. You sound great. Wow, that's so smooth." And all I hear is like, I'll listen back to the audio and I was like, "Wow, that was some nerd shit." Oh no, I did that
Interesting.
thing again. Oh no, they're all gonna know.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. I think that's a big thing for me. One of my it's so funny because it's usually something I just sound like this, like from day to day. And so it's like I usually change my voice for my ranges, but after Genshin, I remember it came out because I'm voicing like a man in that. And so I remember hearing it back and just being like, oh my gosh, like, I wonder if you can tell, like, because it sounds like I'm voicing in and it's so funny. Then along with my Fire Emblem character, Jeffrey, I also had like, I'm very nitpicky, but I've gotten to a place where I've been like, if it happens, it happens. And like kind of just accepting it is what it is. I feel like there's a lot of, it's something we have to allow ourselves to do because there's so many people around us and constantly in the industry, like saying like, you can't do something if you sound a certain way, or you can't do this if you sound a certain way. And we spoke on ranges and stuff like that. It's like a lot of this stuff doesn't matter in but I feel like when you've heard something for so long and when you've heard from a casting director here, like, I can't see you in this because I don't believe I can't.
Exactly.
Basically, a lot of people can't take their minds off of what they hear if I'm just talking normally. And so what happens if I go in the booth and start talking like this, it's like you don't sound like, you don't hear that anymore. But it's like it's still this thing where it doesn't matter because it's like I've already heard that. And so it's something that is a constant thing, but it's just something you have to you just prove them wrong with. And it's like, it's unfortunate, but sometimes them's just the breaks.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me with my own voice, I'm getting to a place where I'm just like, it's cool. Even if I don't like it in the end, or even if I can hear something, or I'm trying to like closet myself, I guess, it's fine, because at the end of the day, it was still a job well done. And
exactly.
To piggyback off that, and I feel like I have a very distinct voice as well. It has been a process. I'd say in this past year or so, I've gotten much better with it because naturally I'm a little older. I got the gravel, and the higher characters take a little work for me. But the thing is, I think over the year I've learned that it's wild to be like, sometimes I used to be like, teenagers, you ain't gonna book me for that. But I'm like, if you send me audition, okay, let me go ahead and send it. And then, like, I think my first, of course, I can't give it away, first SAG video game, 17-year-old male. I'm just like, wait, I booked that? Like, so, it just sometimes we got to take a step back from, well, this is what I sound like, this is what I'm good at. It's like, no, this is what people hear in you and see in your acting, and this is how we're going to make it work. So, for those that are interested in VA, or, I don't like my voice, you'd be surprised how good you can sound in different spaces, the range you can get. And if your range ain't super duper amazing, one, act on the acting chops, and two, just work on it and just build it up and expand. So I think that's something that I've learned, because I admit I used to be like, cast me 30, 40, 50, I got you.
No, exactly. Just to pick back off that real quickly, I will say that
I love
something that happens is that sometimes going with those notes I said earlier is like, sometimes you'll talk yourself out of stuff, because when I was first reading for my character in that game, I remember seeing the sides. It's like this royal knight that's obsessed with the princess, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, like, I don't know if this will actually be good for me. Like, I literally, as I was doing the lines, I was like, they aren't gonna bring me in for this. And a week later, it's like, oh, here you booked it. And it's like, oh, okay, we so often talk ourselves out of stuff.
Absolutely.
When if we would just do the work and like shoot our shot, you never know what you never know what can come back. You never know. So do it, have fun, and don't worry
Absolutely.
about, don't be
Absolutely.
so conscious of yourself that you miss out on an opportunity that's handcrafted for you.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel like a lot of people get stuck on like, well, I don't have the range. A lot of times,
Mhm.
just like back to Dave's point. But
Mhm.
what a lot of people don't realize is that you don't need a lot of range. There's
No.
many voice actors that have zero range, and they are just really solid actors.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
that's the most important thing with voice acting is the ability to act.
Yeah.
So, and
Mhm.
your ability to act in a very exaggerated way. Because
Yes.
even though there's an animated character on the screen, because like partly why you hear the subs over dubs part, and I learned this when I did a voiceover job for an anime, but it was the Japanese dub of the anime. So when I was
Mm.
recording in Japan, the requirements for like overacting are a lot higher. So
Yeah.
English actors want it really, really subtle, and Japanese want it really big. And I
Yeah.
feel like Western voice actors are starting to match the really big and the really over the top.
Mhm.
You know, it was starting to closer match the Japanese counterparts when it comes to that. But
Mhm.
I think a big part of it though is like if you do that overacting, it helps. Because even
Mhm.
though there's an animated character on the screen, people can't see your facial expressions. They can't connect with you the way that they would with
Yeah.
somebody on a movie set. And
100%.
sound
Yes.
design is also very different in animation
Yes.
versus a movie. So that
Yes.
overacting and that really intense emoting is super necessary for animation. And if you know how to act and you can do that with your regular voice and your regular range, you will book jobs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
No,
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that
It's
because I
also
think
easier to dial
yeah.
back than ramp up. I will say that.
That's
Exactly.
true.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah.
It's harder to ramp up. Like I felt like I was charging up for just that. Hey, Mia. Oh
Yeah.
God, I can't.
Mhm.
I can't do the. I can't do the woo woo anymore. Sorry, I'm having a
I
lot
thought
of
you did it.
revelations.
I
This is
thought you
very
did
new for
it.
me.
I thought
I
I
thought you
heard
did it.
something. Something
Mhm.
happened. So
Something's
the
there.
I can be 45-year-old cabaret singer that has a history of smoking, but that's about it, honey.
I love that.
That's about as feminine as I get.
That is something
So
we kind of talked about for a second was like, yeah, we get like we make decisions like I don't think I'm right for this or I don't
Mhm.
know, I'm wasting my time. Let people in like make the decisions they're gonna make. Don't make the decision for them. They might be like,
Right.
actually, that is a bit of me. I will be taking that. Thank you.
Right.
So yeah.
you know, and sometimes casting directors have no idea what they're looking for. You
No
know, they might
idea.
hear
A
you
lot of
doing like a
times.
southern accent when they said on the side that they want an English accent, and they're like, you know what, this works. I actually like this better.
That's
You
and
know, so
that totally fits with the rest of it because sometimes you just have to take risks and just get silly and
Mhm.
maybe I'll do something different and you never
Mhm.
know, like something work out.
I
yeah.
always name a file the one you didn't ask for and send it in
I
the hopes
love
that one
that so
day
much.
someone will choose it.
But speaking of voice range and voice type and just kind of identity, what have you had any opportunities to voice any LGBTQ plus characters? And what was that experience like having it kind of match or closely relate to your identity? If you did.
I'm always the
I
one jumping the gun. Nope.
Yeah, I
Josh,
know.
you
I was,
go
no, I was
you go
waiting.
first.
I was
No,
waiting.
it's so funny.
I was
Nope.
It's like
waiting.
jump
You go
roping.
first.
Everyone's like, we got it. We got it. I don't want to. I don't want to jump on anyone.
I know. I feel like I've been talking a lot. So Bailey, if you wanted to go,
I could see Dave like
go.
vibrating.
Oh, well. All right. So my thing was I can't say the game, of course, but I actually got my first one about a month ago. It was ironically the character, 17-year-old character I mentioned, and it was fun. I'm like, I got to be a little zesty. I'm like, I always get these tough, burly men. I'm like, wait, I could be like, girl, what you say? You know what I
I
mean?
love that.
So I had so much fun in that session, and like it was funny. Like the more I'll say zesty, I could go in some lines like, you know, they say, give us 3 takes of it. The more they were like, that was good. I'm like, oh, this is representation. I'm liking
I
this.
love that.
So, you know, it was just a great experience, a bit different. It let me have more
Mm.
fun with it in that case.
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I had a role that I thought was a queer role, but it turns out the country that I was dubbing the movie for is just very homophobic.
No.
Dave, so Dave, Cat, yeah, that movie,
Yep, that was okay.
that movie. So I got cast in one of the lead roles, and I had to. I believe I was replaced because of this. So I thought it was the premise of the movie, right, is these two girls are best friends. And like one of them gets serial killed, and then they're like, what happened to her? And like this woman as an adult is like trying to find out what happened to her best friend. And like the way that they were acting with each other, so I was doing the flashback scenes from when they were in high school. So the way that they were acting around each other, I thought they were in lesbians with one another.
Yeah.
And because they were doing things like laying on each other and being like, you homo, oh, you fagwet. Like, and I was like, I remember being a cringe bisexual in the early 2000s. And being like, I could totally see that this was how you flirted with each other. Like, I get it. And it took place, the flashbacks took place in the early 2000s. So I was like, well, this is so accurate. So I played, the way that I voiced over the dub was like they were in lesbians. So it was very romantic. There was like a little flirtiness. There was some sultry tones of like, yeah, I'm the bad girl. And, I'm taking you down this queer path. And then you'll pine for me for decades after I get serial killed. Because I thought it was bury your gays. So I was like, we have everything.
Right,
we have cringy
right.
early 2000s homosexual flirting.
Yeah.
We have
one of them dies. One of
the lesbians is dead. Like, I'm like, this is a queer movie.
Classic. You have all the makings of one. You really do. I would be confused.
There was an Irish fortune teller at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, come
who
on.
was speaking to the ghost of the dead lesbian.
What? Oh, wow.
She looked exactly like Florence. I was misled.
Yeah, that's not. You were set up. You were set up.
That was queer baiting. I'm like, there's a lot of things people call queer baiting that's not queer baiting.
Exactly.
I was queer baited.
Oh my God.
Interesting. So that breaks my heart though. That they're like, no, we're not that.
I went and rewatched it, and I was like, oh cool, I bet my scenes are in here. And like, to be fair, I sent in a lot of voice lines, so I was still the Irish fortune teller. So
okay.
And I was roles. I was the mom of one of the lesbians, and then I was the Irish fortune teller. So I was still in the movie, but I was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, they kept that one. I'm like, no, I thought my work with the lesbians was really good while I was watching it.
Oh my gosh.
And then after I actually watched the movie, I was like, they're not lesbians.
Listen, I hate that it happened, but you can't. I feel like, well, you can't, but you can't call yourself a true voice actor until you've been replaced in something, and it's happened to the best of us. And it's happened to the best of us. You can be very excited for something, or have another character, kind of like if you play in like a ensemble of characters. Happened to me, and I was looking for one of my characters, and I listened to it. I said, "Oh, that's not me." I said, "All right, all right."
Yeah.
I said,
"Oh yeah,
everyone."
I said, "All right."
Oh. I was just more startled by the fact that it was like super homophobic, but that it took me so long to realize it, and I feel like it shows how far we've come as like a population. That I did not immediately assume that it was hooked on phonics.
That's true though.
Yeah. See, but at the same time, you got your money. Take the homophobes' money.
No, listen.
I did. A gay got paid. So
we're celebrating all the wins. All the wins. Thank you.
All the wins.
Win is a
Queer
win.
currency is definitely a win.
Yes, exactly.
Characters. Bailey, have you voiced queer characters? I know I wanted to wait till last because I feel like I talk over.
Well, I've had all of two. One was a lesbian in the hotel. Who
works well. Love it.
Because she gets to love a woman who doesn't love her back at all.
Oh, yearning.
Oh,
Yeah, like
not the yearning.
It's full of like
Some nice
yearning
yearning.
but now she's really mad because I mean her boss kind of killed her. So I mean that's fun. Now I get
Happens.
the
Plot
yearning and
development.
I get the villain arc. I get both. It's amazing.
Cute couple.
The other
Love
one,
Yearning and vengeance is a blessing.
exactly.
Mhm.
Now maybe I'll be a sword lesbian and it'll be a good time.
Yay.
Yeah. Get all the little lesbian characters, the great
Mhm.
lesbian stories, the sapphic yearning. You get the
Yeah.
war. You got the war one. Yeah, collecting them.
Mhm.
I love that. In Cookie Run Kingdom, I voice a NB cookie, which is the funniest
Oh.
thing ever, but they're amazing. They're a lot like me down to like their color scheme. I remember there's the golden rule in voice acting is like, if you see something and even if you think like this would fit me like a glove, like you don't say anything. Like you're just
Yeah.
like, okay, it could, but also, Johnny Appleseed from down the
Mhm.
block could also be perfect. And all these things, it was like the colors were just like me. The gender was just like me. There was like no gender, and I was like, yeah, that sounds right. And I remember, I was like, I'm just gonna let it happen. I'm gonna let whatever happens happens. And to this date, I think it's one of my most like notable roles, and I think it's really cool being able to play, like, I think, Dave, how you were saying, like, being able, because I feel like sometimes when you're so conscious of yourself and how you sound, like how we were talking about earlier, like, do I sound queer? Do I sound zesty? Do I sound like that? I really felt like safe in the session to just have fun and be light. And even if I did sound a little zesty, who cares? Because I'm a floating cookie and I'm ginger and and I feel like that's such a great experience to, it's like cathartic to really get into like a session and just be like, oh, you can just be yourself because you're good. This character is just like you. So just do your thing. And so, I think it's really awesome being able to play characters who share parts of yourself because, there's, as much as it's cool to play other characters you're nothing like you, it's also cool to like come home and say, oh my gosh, like they just like me for real. So yes, definitely looking forward to doing more characters.
Mhm.
Is
Without
Zesty
also that-
Cookie going
I'm
to
so
be?
sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, you please
I
go,
was
go,
gonna
go.
say. I was gonna say, is Zesty Cookie going to be your new merch line or username?
You know what? I've thought about it for a long time. Unfortunately, I can't speak on it right now. There's some couple things in the works. Like they could be, or probably not. Who knows? The future is so uncertain. Anything could happen. But thank you for asking.
That was good. Yes, and I like that. I enjoyed that banter. Thank
Mhm.
you. No, but it's really nice though. Right, like going into the session and not have to have any mental gymnastics too in that role.
None.
You get to just live, and you're like, you booked me for sure.
Exactly. And so I feel like it's a different, and I feel like especially when you're first working with a client, because a lot of times we go into these first sessions and we're like, I don't know you at all. Like I'm trying to warm up to you. And so it's cool to just be like, hear from a director, like, we love you, like this is great, like just do your thing and just relax into it. And that's how you build up a nice thing with the client. I recently voiced another character in Cookie Run, and when you feel that
Cool.
safety starting off, like it makes you feel like, okay, anything else they want me to do, I can do, because like this is a good environment. And I feel like that so impacts the work. And so it was awesome just going in and being like, oh my gosh, I can just be amazing. So yeah.
No, that makes me so happy, and especially that like. Is there any games that you all are playing or have watched that you feel like does a really good job at representation when it comes to making their characters? You're like, they nailed it. They nailed it. I mean, I watch Heartstopper literally, and it's becoming my entire personality now. And I'm like, they nailed it. Is there like any games off the top of your mind you're like, yeah, that's it?
I try to give space.
Go. No,
All right,
go.
I feel like
you
I'm
always have
saying-
answers.
I'm gonna be like,
Silence your voice.
Validate. We familiar with Validate?
Yes.
I had the chance to interview Danny Lalandas on Twitch Gaming over there, and I just love it. The representation is all across the board. The subjects, the writing's phenomenal. It's just, I feel like that's just a really great game everyone should check out.
And
Wait,
fun
what
thing
was
on
the name?
Validate. Struggling
Validate.
singles in your area. Fun fact about that is I'm actually serve as the casting director on that project. So we're having a lot of fun with it. I think that's what I was going to say. I don't see it a lot from the mainstream sort of games, but we were talking about earlier, like supporting indie creators, supporting creators that are creating and giving us the rep that we need. And so
Yes.
I see it a lot in the indie sphere with like a lot of these game devs that are just on it and like kicking ass and just doing their thing and like just having fun with it and bringing us the things that, you know, these big companies won't give us. But sometimes it starts small, and it's like, it's just amazing to see the community like give and give and give and like really lift these voices up because they need to be heard. So yeah, I feel like not mainstream, but there's so many indie creators that are
Yes.
just doing that job, and they're doing it amazingly. So yes, and check out Validate Struggling Singles in your area.
I'm
Wonderful visual
absolutely
novel.
doing that now.
Yes.
Thank you.
I feel like Hades really nailed
Yes.
being
Yes.
a chaotic
Yeah.
bisexual,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it also nailed the strong crossover that chronic
Everybody saw.
bisexuality has with the monster effort community. And I
Mm.
really appreciated that. I felt seen.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're not alone.
Oh,
We're
there
not
was also-
alone.
we have community.
We
We have
do.
community. There's a safe
has
space.
big, giant monster hands that can just pick us up. in one
They're gonna
touch.
hold us
And
and
hold
make us feel
you.
safe.
Oh my
know you'll be
God.
okay.
Just smush us into the titties of an endless void.
Oh my god.
Which was how I
real.
felt when I
So
saw the new villain in the Spider-Verse movie. I love
I
him.
haven't
I love
seen it
Spot.
yet.
Miguel
Spot's
O'Hara moment.
Spot's
Mhm.
such
Oh
a good
God.
boy. Oh, and
Mhm.
Miguel O'Hara, absolutely. They really nailed it. They saw what the monster community did for Hades and were like, we need that for us. And the next game, I thought I was streaming a horror game for my community, but it was I'm a little bit of a himbo, I've noticed. I don't know if the testosterone killed brain cells or if I only had half of one to begin with. But the game was called A Normal Lost Phone. I was convinced it was a horror game. It was about a trans kid whose phone that you find, and that kid's run away from home. So by hacking into the kid's phone and invading their privacy, you kind of are following like where they're going, where they wound up, and like the interpersonal dynamics that they have with friends and family as they come to terms with themselves, and then try to seek support from a chosen family. And it was a game that like brought me to tears, but for the first like 30 minutes I kept expecting something scary to happen.
Yeah.
That's-
Like it's gonna be around this corner. Okay. I be streaming stuff.
Yeah.
I'm the worst at streaming horror games because my
I
audience
can't
always
do
wants
it.
me to stream them. You can't do it. Hey,
I
really?
can't. I yell at everything. Jump
We need to
scares.
play a horror games together. Maybe
I'ma
we do it
just
together.
yell.
Quick.
I'm
You're gonna
gonna
what?
just yell the whole way.
No,
Everything
but that's
scares
me too. Like
me.
I'll literally like they'll tell me like, oh, go around that corner and nothing's gonna happen. I was like, I don't know. I literally like I'll like be off the screen, like, okay, let's returning the corner.
I'll just say that lead back be doing something to me. It's like it's not scare me.
It's like you still have the headphones on and everything, so like the audio
Exactly.
is still gonna get you. It's crazy, but
Mhm.
yeah.
What about you,
yeah.
Bailey? Any games that you feel
Hmm.
that
I mean,
stuck
like
in your
Hades was
heart?
amazing. I'm
Hades.
looking forward to that. What is it? Well, I mean, it's already out, but the Horizon Forbidden West expansion.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Looking
Mm-hmm.
forward to seeing that. It's like, oh, are they gonna kiss? It's gonna be great.
Yes.
Like other than that, I think my game selection has been too limited to really see anything interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Any pieces of
Assassin's
media at
Creed
all.
keeps dropping little crumbs and then taking them away from me.
Right.
no.
Right.
Like Odyssey was so great, and then I got to the DLC and it was like, what do you mean I married a dude?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I remember the one that really got people this year was Bayonetta. When
Oh.
at the end,
I love her.
spoiler alert for
Spoiler.
the but it ends in a very the last coupling at the end makes zero sense, and everyone was like, oh, that's
Yes,
crazy that was how we ended that.
it was a choice,
Mm.
not a good
It was
one, but it's a choice.
That's
It's a choice.
definitely something. That's definitely that you decided to do.
Definitely
Interesting.
different.
Definitely
Yeah.
different. You really slayed that, I guess.
So
God.
the $1 million question that every voice actor gets asked at least once in their career, multiple times even, for any potential voice actors that are in the chat, how do they start voiceover?
Mm-hmm.
Do it.
Training.
Do it.
Please get training.
Get started. Yeah, get training.
Also, like, just do it.
Yeah.
Be silly. I've been answering this question a lot recently, and I feel like the easiest thing that you can start with is just, so many people say they want to do it but they don't know how their voice sounds. They don't talk to themselves, and like it sounds crazy to say like talk to yourself.
But if you're gonna do a voice, you just have to start getting silly and do things. And maybe I'm a little sneakster or something. You have to have fun with it. You have to be able to look stupid, be able to look cringe, and like as you get into that, you'll confidence will come. And then also there's resources. There's a site called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com by D. Bradley Baker, who's like a legend.
Yes.
And he has so many tips and tricks. And then there's the great thing about social media is there's community all around, and there's people who are able to help and assist you and get you on the path to success. But yeah, get silly, have fun, do it.
And to piggyback off of it, honestly, just have fun, whether it be D&D, for those that live stream. Sharing a little bit about myself, early on when I met that sea monster, I was still new to voiceover, and I was letting them know, saying, hey, I'm new. I know you do the Webtoon Wednesday. Can I join? I'm a little scared. And, I did it on stream. I was like, oh, I'm going to just do one voice. I'm too nervous to read this out loud. Month or two later, we over here back and forth, voices to voices, but it's ultimately just engaging what you're interested in doing, because as you get more comfortable doing it, whether alone or just amongst friends, or in my case, streaming in public, that comfortability will make way to, hey, I can improve, I can do this, I can learn, so definitely check out the resource yet again. I want to be a voice actor. D. Bradley Baker. Another good resource on Reddit, they have a voice acting thread, and it just has link after link after link. It's the first thing in the subreddit on, okay, what's an agent? Okay, it has D. Bradley Baker. Okay, where can I get a coach? So like the resources are there, but what I encourage a lot of people, because the question does come up a lot, is like put that effort to do some research and just start. Because once you start, you can just keep it going.
Yeah.
A lot
That's
of
the
it
hardest
is
step.
Just getting started. I mean, you build that momentum though, and it starts with like a couple random free projects that you found on like Backstage or something like that to get your feet wet, and it builds over time. And like I remember in those early days, Dave, when we were like practicing monster noises while reading Sweet Home. But like every week you improved dramatically. Like every week, like you were like leaps and bounds better than the week before, because you were just doing it. You went full throttle. You just like looked at voice acting and went, I want to do that, and then just like hit the gas pedal and never stopped.
Exactly.
Not that making me emotional.
I learned a lot. Chat to see that sea
love.
monster got to witness it, because I would hear monster voice. I'm like, how you do that? So I was like, okay, let's try to do it this way. So
I love that you had a genuine curiosity about it. And I feel like that's that if you have that hunger and you really want it and you really go after it, the road will open, the path will make itself, open to you. It's just about one thing, being open, being hungry for it, and like getting in there, experiencing stuff, not thinking you have to be at a certain place. Comparison kills everything, kills joy. It's a lot. So know that your path is your path, and wherever you are at, you're supposed to be there, and just keep improving and keep learning, and never be afraid to learn or look like you mess up, because we're all on the journey and we're all learning things every single day. So have fun with it.
Lack of shame helps a lot.
Lack of shame.
Everyone's afraid of mistakes, and they're gonna happen.
Because a big thing too is also learning to take rejection, and I know that's true for any creative pursuit. But like you're gonna apply for some of those free gigs, like that are not gonna pay you. Like you're doing them for free, and you're not gonna get them. Like, and that happens when you're first starting. There is a lot of humility that comes with being a creative, because you have to take your lumps while at the same time being your own biggest cheerleader.
100%.
Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of work and a lot of opportunities that you're not going to get that will make you feel a certain type of way.
Right.
But the people who push through that and continue are the ones who eventually are able to, make it as a career.
Exactly.
It's a marathon.
We're looking for longevity, not like instantaneous.
1 second. Yeah.
Like
every little step builds.
rejection is fine.
So that's good. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna
that's, like,
happen. The
really
fact that
good.
you're
really
booking
good.
Like,
10.
if you get 80% rejection, you are a god.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
That's insanity.
80% is a 80-20 is a very good rate. And I feel
Mhm.
like that's another thing that a lot of people when they're first starting out, they're scared of is like, what do you mean I'm just gonna keep auditioning? Auditioning, voiceover, what we say is auditioning is the job.
Mhm.
And getting
Yes.
to go in and play is like it's fun. It's getting to play.
Yeah.
And so that's really how you have to treat stuff. Like I do anywhere from 15 to 20 auditions like a week. And so it's like you have to get in there and just again shoot your shot and just keep
Yep.
it's something, and some come back and some don't, and some you'll pop up, some you'll really want, and some you'll a month later you'll be like, oh, I went to that actor, cool, all right. You have to be able
Mhm.
to know who you are and not let the industry or casting directors tell you who you are. You have to have that sense of confidence going into it, because if you don't have that sense of self or that sense of groundedness within yourself, you will lose yourself here. So it's important to know who you are walking into it and know that you are talented and that you have a space here. It's just about having the stamina to
Yes.
wait for your turn
Mhm.
and no, it's coming.
Exactly. And one thing I'll
No,
also
it's
add
true.
on it, I mean, just a little button in the pen, honestly, there is a role for everybody. You know,
Yeah.
like when you think of video games, you're like, okay, main character, there are supporting, there's side characters, NPCs, and honestly, there's plenty. You'll get yours, and as long as you keep going, you're gonna find another one and another one. You don't know
100.
when, but just
Yes.
keep going at it, and you'll see that one door open up for you.
I used
Yes.
to do
And
background chatter, like literally, like not an
Yes.
NPC, not like literally chatter. Like that is the
Mhm.
name of the
Yep.
role. So like,
there's something there. And it's like also with auditioning, it's like don't be so set on the one character that you want, because you
Yes.
may turn in a audition and be placed somewhere else. Like Dave auditioned
Mhm.
for my project, and I have him currently placed under a different character
Ooh.
because I guess I'm breaking that news to you right now.
Well,
But sometimes
hey,
you'll
yeah.
Just so you know.
I was like,
you're up. Yeah, so
Wow.
sometimes it happens. Sometimes you'll audition for one character, and whoever's casting will say, "Okay, not this one, but they'd be
Mhm.
perfect for this one over here." So stay open. You know, the opportunities. Just not everything. You're not always auditioning for that current project. You're also auditioning just for the future as well. So keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind as you go forward. Yes.
I love this
Well,
topic now.
thank you guys.
You're like, let's
I'm
stay
like-
here. Actually.
No, that's, we're ending
You're
on
like,
a
wait,
positive
can we
note.
circle back
a
to
high
that
note.
casting note?
It's like, wait, hold on. What are we talking about? Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming. This has been an awesome conversation. We are so happy that y'all signed on with us to chat. And we hope y'all have a good rest of your day. For everyone
Yes.
else, do the !VA's command to find our guest socials and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, please go support these amazing creators. Like, this has been such a fun conversation. Like, my heart is so full. Go give the love, go support these amazing people. And thank you again thank you so much for just joining us today.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you for
Yeah,
this
thank
was
you for having
really,
us.
really
Appreciate
fun.
it.
Mhm.
Mm.
You're trying.
Yeah, but that's, I'm so sorry, but confession. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, that was so nice. That was so, so, so nice. And I'm so excited that the conversation was just like, it was like not, it didn't feel like an interview. I felt like I was just talking with all of my loves. I was just talking with all of my loves. So thank you all so much. And like, something I honestly like take away from that it was just so nice to like hear everyone's support of one another. And like the one thing that like, don't make decisions for these casting people or anything. Let them book you in the part you're like, I'm not right for this. No, you don't get to make that decision. Go for it.
Nope, you are not the decision maker for sure.
You can count yourself out of something and think, I'm not the person for this, but it's literally you're like, no, wait. wait, you're perfect. And like, if you talked yourself out of that, you never would have known. You wouldn't have tried. You wouldn't have known. So it's better to try and know that you tried and not get
Absolutely.
anything. And, wonder
And if you
what
don't get it, it's not a judgment on your value as a human being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or as an artist or anything like that. Or anything like that. Well, I don't want to take. Oh, please go for it. No, go for it.
I was just going to drop my grandma's like nugget of wisdom, but
Please.
the world is going to say no to you enough. You don't have to say no to yourself.
I love that.
That is
So
wonderful.
true, though.
Yeah.
I love that.
Listen to that. Take it in, everyone. Listen to
it
that and
in.
take
Take
it
it
in.
in.
Well, I
Courtesy
don't
of
want to go on a
Granny
break. I don't want to go on a break, but we're going to have to go on a break now and get set
Aw.
up for our next thing. And
Yes.
during the break, Planet Fitness has partnered with It Gets Better to uplift, empower, and connect LGBTQ plus youth around the globe by helping them feel good in fitness. So during the break, we're going to be doing like a low intensity training session specifically for like Twitch streamers and the viewers. It's focused more on heads and shoulders, the stretches for those long periods of times when you're sitting in the chair. And you can learn more about the partnership in the pinned message. Look at that pinned message. Thank you.
Okay,
In chat or by doing the command !BF. Enjoy, and we'll be back with mxmtoon. And I'm so excited about that interview. Oh, it's going to be so fun.
All right, Sean.
Hello, welcome to Low Intensity Indoor Training with Planet Fitness. As the judgment-free zone, we're partnering with It Gets Better project and help support, uplift, empower, and connect LGBTQ plus youth around the globe. Now, flexing your pride can happen anywhere and anytime. So why not right here and right now? Tight shoulders are all too common when you're at your desk for too long. So let's loosen them up with some shoulder shrugs. While facing forward, draw your shoulders so they come close to your ears. Hold for just a breath, then drop them down and repeat 10 times in each direction. Now, don't go too fast unless you're trying to get your groove on. Now that your shoulders are nice and loose, let's go after the neck, shall we? Here's what you're gonna do. Relax your shoulders and lean your head slightly forward. Slowly roll your head to one side, hold for about 10 seconds, and repeat it over to the other side, holding for another 10 seconds. Relax and lift your chin back to the start position. Now you're gonna do this a total of 3 times in each direction. All right, so let's end our head and shoulder stretches with the upper trap stretch. Gently pull your head towards your shoulders until you feel a gentle stretch. Oh, that feels good. Hold it for about 10 to 15 seconds and alternate once on the other side. Oh, that feels even better. Feels good to loosen up the shoulders. These battle royale games make me so tense, so I'm glad we can take a moment to sort of stretch it out, especially those head and shoulders. Next time, it's the knees and toes. On the next round.
We're
I
back.
think we are. Welcome back, everyone, to the 4th annual It Gets Better, a digital pride experience, a series of pride streams on Twitch and TikTok for LGBTQ plus youth who may not be able to celebrate pride in person. I hope you enjoyed the stretch break with Planet Fitness.
Yeah, if this is your first time joining us for Digital Pride, welcome. Today is our Actors and Performers stream. If you missed it, which you really should go back in the VOD and watch it because it was really good, we were just chatting with LGBTQ plus voice actors Data Dave, That's Sea Monster, Joshua David King, and Bailey Wolf. And now we're back and joined by singer-songwriter mxmtoon. Hi.
I have been listening to your music and I'm so excited for you to I'm excited to talk to you. I'm gonna be honest. Can you please tell the It Gets Better audience about yourself, your pronouns, and what you've been doing?
Absolutely. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Maya. My artist name is mxmtoon, which might be the first time a lot of people, even if you do know of me, are learning how to say it for the first time. So that's how you say it. My pronouns are she, her. I have been out since 2017 as bisexual, and it's been so incredible to be working in the music industry and be in a community specifically within the music industry of like incredible allies, incredible queer people, working with incredible queer people, and like I don't know, I'm just so excited to be here. I'm so excited to chat and like
so
get the
fun.
chance to do this with both of you. So thanks.
So we're here as part of It Gets Better Digital Pride experience, obviously. So what do you look forward to every year during Pride?
This is so weird, but the memes actually, I think, are the thing I look forward to the most. Like,
Yeah.
gay people are funny, and
You
I
are.
want to see like the things that
Mhm.
people make. And it's always, I feel like during Pride Month that people like. There's this one meme that my own community starts using every June 1st. I see it on my Twitter feed, and it goes, "MXMtoon is turning your kids gay," and it's this random photo of me from like 2018 that's like plastered in front of a pride flag, and I'm like, I live for this. I want more of this, and that's what I think my favorite part of Pride is.
That made my heart so happy because that's
Oh
such
my
a specific
gosh.
answer because pride can mean anything. And that made me so happy. All the padam, like those memes have been making me so happy. Oh my gosh.
The memes.
It's all about the memes, I don't know where my brain went there. That was weird. But like this has been like a tough year for the LGBTQ plus youth, and there's been a lot of hate and anger directed towards them. How do you find yourself reacting to the news? And then when you are dealing with the news, how do you decompress from such heavy realities that we're facing?
It's hard, and, like, the onslaught of, like, awful headlines that, like, we've been reading over the last God knows how long at this point,
Mhm.
and it just feels like it's like this inundation of information that's just so disheartening to read and hear about. I think in those moments, like, for me, I find a lot of solace in my own community of people that I've built over the course of working in music. Like, I was really lucky to grow up in the Bay Area in Oakland, California, and to be surrounded by people that accepted me for who I was when I was ready to share that piece of my identity. But I also don't know if I was really surrounded by a lot of people who shared those identities with me. I was
Mhm.
around a lot of straight people growing up, and I went to school and I didn't come out when I was in high school to the community of students that I was, operating around. So I think for me, it's just been this hugely healing piece of being and making music in a group of people and making music for a group of people that understand the experience of being queer and understand how sad it feels to read news articles that are about how your rights are getting stripped away and all of these things. And just like amongst that sadness, I think there is an incredible amount of opportunity for you to
Yes.
lean into the community that you have in front of you. And that's what the queer community is good at, is being there for each other in the moments of hardship. And so that's what I do, is just surround myself with other people that like know intuitively what it feels like to
Mhm.
be LGBTQ and like talk with them, spend time with them, and lean on each other because it is really hard to just read all of that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you're an amazing musician, but you've done so much social media stuff as well that you understand that like community side as well, just as well as like a Twitch streamer does.
Absolutely. I mean, like, without social media, I don't even know if I would have discovered much about coming into my queer identity. Like that was a huge piece for me, was going online and being like, oh, other people are thinking and feeling the same things as me,
Yes.
because who's having those conversations in my day-to-day life with like in my community in person? Nobody was really. And like I don't know. I went on Twitter and I was like, "Oh my gosh, gay people." And then I realized I was like, "Wait a minute. Like I belong here." And like there's a lot of people that gave me such a wake-up call to like come into myself. So I feel forever thankful for social media
I
for
love
that.
that.
Yeah, it's got to be so cool going from seeing these people being that icon for you to look up to slowly coming into your own and becoming that person for a bunch of other people too. The circle is
Absolutely.
complete.
It's really cool. It's also so scary. Like, I don't know, I'm
Yeah.
still learning about myself and I'm experiencing and like I just like I don't know. I don't have a full understanding of who I am yet, and I feel thankful that
Mhm.
I get to have the space to figure that out amongst like people and audience members and listeners. But also like nobody maybe knows what's going on within themselves, and so
Exactly.
that's okay too. Yeah.
No, that's one of the powerful things because, like, yeah, I think sometimes we're all like faking it. And then when you're just kind
Yes.
of like, I'm still figuring things out too, everyone's like, oh, thank goodness, so am I.
It's so much pressure. Like, how are you supposed to know? I don't know if we ever do, but hey, we're figuring it
We'll
out
find
together.
out. We'll figure that out.
Yes,
Fitter
we will.
time.
But on a little bit of a different note, is music something that you always knew that you would do professionally, or did you fall into it?
I think I fell into it and then made the active conscious decision to like keep doing it. I was really grateful. I grew up doing music as a, you know, small Asian child. One of the things that was bestowed upon me was the kind of obligation to learn music and do music lessons and everything. And
Mhm.
as I grew up, music was something that like I liked, but I don't know if it was something that I ever felt I chose maybe necessarily, but more so something that I learned about and did. And so I think I got older and found singing, and that was kind of a different thing that I hadn't learned coming from like a classical music background. And so
Sure.
after that point, I was posting on social media and I was, making online friends and all this stuff. And I kept making music and kind of dipped my toe into that pond and really ended up liking it. And people seemed to also like the things that I was making. And so I feel like I just like opened a door one day and like stumbled into this room that I now occupy and I get to make music and feel so thankful for it. But I could not tell you how that really happened or
Mhm.
why I got lucky, but I'm grateful I did. Yeah.
I'm
Sometimes it
grateful
just
you did.
happens.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please. I had the whole playlist going today and I was like, I'm
Thank
galvanized
you.
and ready to interview
Yeah.
today. Thank
Oh
you
my
so
god.
much. So we talked a lot with our last group about like the code switching when with voice acting and like being like, it's like this weird mental gymnastics you have to do. You're very open with who you are and your music and when you talk to your community and stuff. But have you ever questioned about being out as an artist? Like, has that ever like plagued your mind?
You know, I don't know if it has. I feel
Ugh.
like so relieved that I think my audience has always just embraced me with such open arms and who I am in any capacity, whether that's my like sexuality, my gender identity, my race. It just like I feel really grateful to have the room to shift and learn about myself and present
Mhm.
that new information or maybe don't present that to whoever's listening and like consuming my content. I think being queer for me, I feel really lucky, has always felt incredibly easy amongst my like job. You know, I don't think I felt that way when I was not out in my community and growing up.
Sure.
So I feel really grateful to have that space now as an adult to like feel like, yeah, okay, I am in a community now that like accepts me for who I am. But yeah, I guess like, I think in any person on the internet, there's always like an element of like, okay, I gotta like keep a little piece of myself for me and protect that core of myself. But I don't know if my sexuality is necessarily inside of that core. I think that's always something that
Yeah.
I'm happy to wear with pride. Yeah. Mhm.
Hmm.
Hey, I see what you did
Yeah.
there. I see
Yeah,
what
let's
you did there, lyricist.
go.
No, that makes me so happy because there is so many people I talk to of the mental gymnastics of like in many different industries. I was an educator at one point, and there is that sort of like code switching sort
Ah,
of
yeah.
thing that happens. So
Mhm.
I love that you don't have to deal with that as much.
Mhm.
And you are being embraced. And I think that is just very powerful. So
Absolutely. I'm so, so
GG's.
lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. And with that code switching, there's also an element of intersectionality that is involved with that.
Mhm.
You've referred to yourself as a young bisexual woman of color from a family of immigrants. So, how do
Mhm.
you feel like your intersectionality is inspiring your music and how you present yourself to the world?
Yeah. So that's such a good question because I think while I feel very comfortable in my line of work and like being in
Mhm.
music, the code switching that I do experience does happen in maybe like my personal life, specifically within the Chinese American community. I think that was a different thing that I had to, it was one thing to come out to a group of people that are around my age and like the same, I don't know, clubs or environments that I was in. It
Yeah.
was a different thing to tell my grandma who like doesn't really know about queer identity, has never really maybe actively realized she could possibly be talking to someone who's like a part of
Right.
the LGBTQ community.
Mhm.
So it's really I think I'm grateful my grandparents specifically and like my mom has always been very open to queer identity, but I think yeah, like, I was probably I don't know if they ever expected their grandkid to come out and, like, be bisexual or be queer. So, yeah, it's definitely weirder, and I
Yeah.
think about the way that they all kind of interact and, come together a lot, but I don't know, I am really lucky, again, I grew up in the Bay Area, and so there's a lot of people that shared the same identities as me, and I feel also really grateful to work in a music industry and to have such a broad scope of the world at large now because of social media and everything like that too, that, like, I do feel like I've found people who share a lot of commonalities with me in a way that I maybe didn't necessarily, like, actively think about or seek when I was, like, first coming into my identities and everything, but yeah, no, it's weird. It's
I know, but like
weird.
you are so articulate. Like the
Thank
way
you.
you talk on it is so like so many things that can be like true and also not true on the same token. Like you're like, I feel in this realm, absolutely. This other realm, maybe not so much.
Mhm.
But you explain it so
Thank you.
eloquently. So that was just amazing. No, thank
Phew.
you.
Sometimes
No,
it
yeah,
feels like
no,
word
you
vomit, I don't
yeah. No, but yeah,
know.
well, we're always like, did I say that right? Did that make sense? I hope that made sense. So that was it made sense to me.
Perfect.
I do want to ask though, so art and graphic novels have been a huge part of your career.
Mhm.
Is there any chance we're gonna see more of that
Oh my god.
soon?
I would love to because I mean, like, if there's anything I'm doing when I'm not making music, it's playing video games and watching cartoons. Like, that's literally
I
all I do
love
in my
that.
free time.
Mhm.
Honestly, I might even love it more than music sometimes, if I'm being completely honest, but
But
Ooh, hot
I
take.
okay.
but I love that world, like and that's where I found a lot of comfort when I was first using social media too, and, like, the internet and
Mhm,
being on, like, Tumblr and stuff like that, like, those were the kind of realms that I was existing in. It wasn't
mhm.
really, like, music communities or anything, so I guess for me on, like, a personal level, that was, like, my first love, like, mxmtoon was born as a project for my cartoon drawings that I was posting online, and it turned into a music project, so I think there's always room for it to kind of keep noting back to the origins of the project and like hopefully I can do some more cartoons and animated stuff and like maybe do more graphic novel work. I don't know. It'll always have that door open for it. But yeah, selfishly I hope so.
Well, it's like cool you have so many creative outlets, and it doesn't mean
Mhm.
anything is more important, less important. Like they all matter and they make up who you are as a creative.
Yes,
Mhm.
totally. I feel very strongly like every interest that you have is a part of you and I'm really
Mhm.
grateful that I get to explore all of those things with my audience. But yeah, I don't know. Like I think it would suck to feel stuck in a singular part of who you are, and I try and let myself have room to float around a little bit. Yeah, mhm.
Just to
I love that.
exist.
Yeah,
And
just
we
to
should be
exist.
allowed to do that. We're allowed to go from one
Totally.
thing to the next
Yeah.
thing.
We're
It's like
allowed
I
to
think
just
sometimes
jellyfish
we
in the
feel like
void.
I love that. Jellyfish away, please.
It's a perfect way to describe it.
It's true, but
Yeah.
it's important to like because I think creative burnout can happen too. So you having
Mhm,
other creative things, so you don't have to worry about that as much. I mean,
mhm.
it still could happen, but
Yeah, totally. It's nice to like yeah, I mean, I don't know, that was like one thing when my music, which was a hobby, turned into a job, I was like, "Wait a minute,
right.
I gotta also make sure I like tend to these other things in my life and find other things that I love and can have for myself." So yeah, I encourage anybody to have hobbies, explore those hobbies, be bad at things and learn how to be good at them. Like it's all a process.
I
Yeah,
feel
for
called out in that
sure.
moment. No, I'm kidding. I don't have hobbies. No, I'm just totally kidding. I'm so kidding.
Oh my gosh. So you brought up Tumblr and the
Yes.
MXM2 origins.
Mhm.
So you've had a strong presence on so many different social media platforms, some that don't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite, or is there one that you miss in
Ooh.
particular?
I mean, the one that I think about that doesn't exist anymore is Vine, obviously.
Oh,
And that I think I had like 2,500 followers on Vine, and I thought that was going to be my social media mark. Like that was the end. And when it died, I was like, that's the end for me. I'll never use social media ever again. But I miss it. Like it felt so like personal and like stupid in such the best way possible because people would just go on and the videos are only 6 seconds. Like, what are you going to do in a 6 second span of time? So I miss that. I think my current favorite one is probably, it's like, I don't know if it qualifies as a social media, but like Discord is like probably the thing that I'm on the most and use
No.
the
I
most.
love
And like,
that.
I don't know, they added like a soundboard, right? And so my friends and I have been obsessed with that. So
The air
I don't know, maybe that's
horns.
my favorite.
For sure. Do you have a
Mhm.
favorite soundboard noise? What is the MXM2
Oh,
God.
soundboard moment?
I found one where it's like the really crunchy Vine boom effect where it's like just goes
Yes.
over and over and over again. So I always play that whenever someone like one of my friends says something like we are supposed to react to. Just
a mic
spam
drop
that.
moment.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I love that
Vine
so
boom
much. And I
moment.
love that you connected the Vine
Vine
with the
boom.
Discord. I see that. I
Yes,
see the
bringing it back
connection.
slowly
I
but
love
surely.
that you're like, it's going to be me. I will bring it back. Might just be in Discord, but I'm
Single-handedly.
bringing it back. I did see a lot of people say how much they love your sweater as well, and I'm just saying,
Thank you
yes, yeah,
guys.
taste. I just wanted to say that. Just want to
Thank
pull that out.
you. I
Sailor
figured
Moon
this would
stands
be
rise up.
Yes, I figured this would be the right environment to bring out the Usagi sweater. Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for not saying Serena. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's the little things for me, just the little things. It's
We're
the
not
little things.
localizing here.
But has there been any like looking back on any prides? Has there been any like memorable moment that you would like to share before we like start wrapping things up? Which I don't ever want to wrap this up. I think this is
Oh
so
my gosh.
fun.
No, I'm loving this. This is great. I was literally just playing Overwatch before this, so, hey,
Oh,
I think oh my god, a memorable pride moment for me, it was honestly going to my first pride parade in Oakland. Like, I think it was a couple years after I'd come out, and I had not gone to any pride events in the city I was born in and grown up before at any point, and,
mm-hmm,
like, for me, I don't know, I guess it was being bisexual was something that I oftentimes felt like there was just no one in my family that I could, like, talk to about this. I think there was also, like, no one at school that was openly talking about
mm-hmm.
sexuality either, and so to come from that space of, like, existing in my hometown and not necessarily feeling like I had the freedom to just, like, be open about who I was and be proud about being bisexual, coming back into the Pride Parade environment, like, walking amongst all these people in my hometown and feeling like, "Oh my god, like, I'm actually a part of this community." Like, that was super healing in that and, like,
Yeah.
so grateful to, like, have that full circle moment of being someone who was really afraid to kinda step into that environment to all of a sudden